If you don't know how to clean your wheels well, you're missing out.
Hi,
I'm Nick.
this is DIY Detail. Today we're going to go in depth on wheel cleaning. Why, how, what products to use, and the stunning results.
If you keep up on your vehicle, if you wash it and keep it protected, wheel cleaning is going to be as simple as rinseless wash, spraying on, a quick little wipe down, and you're good. But as a detailer, you're going to run into the jungle. Vehicles that haven't been maintained in years, you're going to be asked to clean this, to diagnose it, to safely remove what's there, and then to make it look really good. And so that's what this video is about, Ivan. What should folks know about cleaning a wheel if they've never seen the vehicle before, this is the first time they're touching it, and they're responsible to be a steward of this and make it look as new as they can?
First thing is to analyze, what does the wheel look like? Wheels generally are sort of a silver color. When they have what looks like a brown or gold tinge to them, that is brake dust, and that's actually rust on the surface. First thing, before you even put a product on the wheel, make sure that it's cool to the touch. You don't want a hot wheel. Hot wheels, they're great little cars, but they shouldn't be what you're washing here.
This video is all about every possible step that you could ever think of to deep clean a wheel.
Right.
So if you're ever just the person who's like, I just want to know how to do it every time the same way to get the best clean possible, you could do this on every vehicle and every detail. Some of these steps are going to be unnecessary if you do them on every detail, but we're going to show you every possible step that we have in our arsenal to deep clean this wheel.
And to deep clean it safely. There's a lot of wheel cleaning videos out there, and some of them, unfortunately, I cringe when I look at them because they're not thinking logically as to what they're doing. They're just throwing chemicals at it and hoping for the best. Speaking of throwing chemicals at it, one of the tenets of wheel cleaning is getting that brake dust off. To get the brake dust off, we're using iron remover.
Ivan got a little close to me because I don't think he wants me to be the one spraying it on there.
Right.
Why is that?
Because I don't want to wear it, first of all. Secondly, Nick uses a little too much.
This is iron remover from DIY Detail.
Right. What we want is to get it in the barrel so it starts working.
Why in the barrel and not the face?
Well, we're going to do the face as well, but we want to make sure that we're getting everywhere in the barrel. And then when we put it on the face, you'll see that in not a lot of time, you'll have that characteristic red from the iron remover.
Do you use iron remover on wheels that are maintained regularly?
No. If you're maintaining your wheel regularly, this is a step you can definitely skip. It's not something that needs to be done every time. Now, the inside of the barrel is going nice and red. We have a little bit on the outside. This vehicle comes to us from a dealership. It's sat on their lot. It could be covered in dust. It could be covered in brake dust. We don't know what's on the wheel. When we don't know, that's when we reach for the iron remover. Now, thankfully, there's not a lot of iron contamination on this. There's a little bit, but if there were more, we just let this dwell.
We kind of stack a couple of chemicals typically when we're doing our wheels. First, we use iron remover, and then we use all clean. So you can get it in the bottle like this. It's already ready to use. Spray it right on. It's diluted 15:1.
Right.
From our warehouse, Ivan.
Yeah, that's ready to use by the gallon. I look at this as the sample size. When you buy the gallon, you can do something with it. First of all, you're diluting it 15:1. So 1 gallon actually gives you 16 gallons of product.
It's a concentrate, so it comes full strength in the gallon. So this is the ready-to-use 16-ounce bottle. Ivan mentioned kind of like your teaser, your foray into detailing. This is when you're beginning. By the gallon. It's the concentrate, and Ivan, it allows you to create what we're about to see.
Right. So in the IK, we have all clean, diluted 15:1. Easy way of looking at it, 120 ounces of water, 8 ounces of all clean, and a cap full of Incredible Suds. The reason for the cap full of Incredible Suds is to get longer dwell time. That's the only reason. Once again, very important to get it everywhere. Inside the barrel as well. The reason for inside the barrel, that is the most neglected part of wheels. A vehicle that goes through a car wash on a regular basis, the barrel will never ever get cleaned. It just gets water thrown at it, some chemicals, and hopefully it gets clean. As a detailer, we're gonna brush it. We're going to go more in depth into the wheel barrel. Now we're gonna let it dwell. Let the chemical work for you. Don't immediately start brushing. The other thing is tire cleaning. While this is dwelling, we can explain a few things with tires. The browning you see on tires is actually a natural part of the tire, and it's supposed to be there. it's not a negative thing for your tire. When we put the tire dressing on the tire, that will take care of that browning. Now, we want to remove the dirt, and when you think about it, this is going down the road. It's the same dirt that's on the tire, that's on the wheel, that's on the car. This actually gets more abuse back here than the wheel could ever get abuse. So you don't need to have a special chemical for the tire and for the wheel. It's the same thing. And the wheel is clear coated. By clear coated, it's the same clear coat on the wheel that's on the paint. There's no difference. They're both clear coated. So we're working with the same substrate. Clear coated wheel, clear coated paint. And there are things that I see people doing on wheels that they would never do on paint. Like at this point, starting to brush. That is very dangerous for your wheel.
So let's rinse it off, shall we?
Right. And before we rinse it off, I'd like to admire the colors here.
I'm gonna get out of the way just in case.
It's always nice. You can see the iron remover doing its thing and the foam. By letting the chemical dwell, you can see that the wheel looks really clean already at this point because we let the chemical do the job instead of us. Now, let's apply a little more on the surface and bring Nick back.
Just like with washing the car, it's the same with wheels. We do foam, rinse, foam.
Right.
We put the chemical on, we give it dwell time, we rinse it off safely, we put it back on. Before we hit it with a brush or wash media, foam, rinse, foam.
Right, because now we've removed the grit. We're not that concerned now. We can take a brush to it. We can take a microfiber towel for that matter. And if you clean your vehicle on a regular basis, you don't need to do all these steps. If you're washing your car once a week, the rinseless wash or the incredible suds that you're using to clean the paint will do a great job on the wheels and tires.
That's true, and if you're doing the rinseless wash method on protected paint that's just kind of dusty,
yeah,
you can just spray rinseless on and do a contact wash. You don't always need a hose. Same principles apply for your wheels. Again, if they're well maintained, the rules shift a little bit. Most of the time, this is the situation you're gonna be in, especially as a detailer, so this is the safest way to do it.
Yeah. Now, if you can pass me the brush, Nick.
What are we doing, wheel and body brush?
Yeah.
In my wheel bucket?
Right. The reason we're starting with the face of the wheel with the wheel and body brush is logical. And it's something, again, that escapes me with what some people do. We don't want to be going into the barrel now, bringing the dirt out of the barrel, leaving it on the face, and then scrubbing the face. So what we do is we take care of the face of the wheel first, then we'll finish with the barrel. And the tire, we sell a tire scrubbing brush. If your tires are very bad, you can use that. 99% of the time, it's not required. The wheel and body brush does everything you need. Now, I like to start at the top of the wheel, work my way around. Nick likes to start at the valve stem. Pick something that works for you so you can have a memory and also be methodical. So I'm going around every one of these spokes with the wheel and body brush, and it gets in there quite nicely. You can see how it's getting the whole spoke, moving around a little bit. And the plastic is softer than the clear coat on the wheel, so if I do have a bit of a strike here and there, it's not that big a deal.
You're talking about the plastic on the brush you're holding?
Yeah, this is not going to damage the wheel.
It looks like wood, but it's plastic.
Yeah. So as I'm going around, I hit the lug nuts of that area as well. Inspect your brush, and it could use a dip.
Little dunk, little dip. I'll give you some suds there too.
There you go. So being methodical is going to give you a nice clean wheel. And then do the tire.
Would a microfiber towel just be better than a brush? Like, why use a brush on the face of a wheel?
A brush, as soon as we dip it in the bucket, it releases all the dirt. Microfiber is designed to hold onto dirt, and it does a great job. So microfiber is actually not the safest thing. For drying, definitely you want to use a microfiber. For washing, microfiber is not necessarily your best choice.
Well, drying at that point, hopefully a lot of the crud is off the paint. So
yeah,
you're not going to be gripping a piece of dirt and then driving it into the drying process.
Right.
Whereas here, maybe that first pass, you pick up something off the wheel, it cleans it well, then it's still on your towel, you could drive it in, scratch the wheel face. The last thing we ever want to do when detailing is
damage your vehicle.
Scratch it, exactly. You ready for the barrel brush?
Yep.
I like to think of all of our products as always innovation, right? We're always looking at research and development. you want the latest and greatest, but you also want some wily veterans on your team.
Yeah.
And what is it about this brush that, you know, the veteran, the experience, it just sort of works? It's a nice complement to some of our innovations. What do you like about this brush?
Well, the Tampico fibers, when they're dry, they're cringeworthy. They're just, ugh, these things are stiff, they're hard. But as soon as they get wet, they're nice and soft, they're subtle. And what they do is clean very well. But when they get dirty, we just dunk it in our bucket. It comes out clean again. It releases the dirt. The other thing, and speaking of releasing dirt, is a lot of these wheel brushes that are on the market, when you pull it out of the barrel and the bristles hit the edge of a spoke, you end up wearing what you're taking out of the wheel. Not the case with this one. So again, I like to start at the top and work my way down. But now I'm not going to work my way back up this side. I'm going to start at the top, work my way down the other side. That way I'm flushing away the dirt as I go.
Most human beings have never seen the inside of their barrels, nor do they even know barrels on a car exist. Doesn't mean they're bad people, they don't know cars, they don't like cars. But detailers have an obsession with barrels, Ivan. What's the happy medium?
Keep them clean. If you keep them clean on a regular basis, it's not going to be an issue. You're not going to have to spend hours cleaning your wheels. It becomes a lot easier to clean your wheel.
And are you twisting that brush a little bit every time you take it out to give it kind of a fresh side, or are you not overly worried about it?
No, fresh side every time.
Because for years I never did that, and people would comment in videos, they're like, Ivan always twists the barrel brush a little bit for a fresh section of the barrel, and Nick never does, and I never even thought about that. I was like, y'all are overthinking it. But if we're really teaching it the right way, you want a fresh side of that brush interacting with the place it's cleaning, so that you're never going to potentially drive whatever you picked up in that first pass into the next section. Even though no one's going to see the barrels, we want to clean them safely, right?
Right, and I mentioned a tire scrubbing brush. This is what a tire scrubbing brush is. Some people like that. I don't see the need.
Ivan's not a big guy for wasting time or effort. That wheel and body brush does a great job of cleaning.
Yeah.
And once you realize, like, you remove some of the browning, you deeply scrub and clean this tire, and you put tire lotion on and it looks great, it's like, what am I overthinking here?
Right.
If I need to clean it perfectly and then I'm going to dress the tire anyway, versus cleaning it very thoroughly, it still looks a little brown, and I'm going to dress the tire anyway. Either way, it looks the same. Either way, it's going to get dirty again. And you're talking about the fact that we don't want to remove all the browning.
No, you want to leave the browning there. It's actually an integral part of the tire. It's an anti-ozonant or antioxidant. It helps the tire retain its flexibility. So, the last brush, if you want, is one of these little lug nut brushes or detail brushes. You can get in there, and also if you have a nice painted caliper, not the case here, but you could get in here and do the caliper at the same time.
Those brushes are a little overrated, but if this is your pride and joy, you spend a lot of money on it, and you see a lot of therapeutic benefit from going into the driveway and doing the whole foam cannon wash, you probably want to get real intimate with your wheels.
Yeah.
So I mean, get yourself a nice boar hair brush if you want for the lug nuts. It's one of those, I don't see the need for it, but if it's truly something that you enjoy using,
oh, definitely,
if you enjoy it, you'll use it more. Like, this is all about having fun, doing a good job. So I'd say a boar's hair brush is going to get used more than the tire scrubbing brush.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
The green wheel and body brush for the face and the tire, it's all you really ever need.
Let me rinse this again.
All right.
So now we have a nice clean wheel. One chemical we don't use that much on wheels, but it's something that once every 6 months or so you should be using it, is water spot remover. The reason for water spot remover, there is minerals on the road. If you're unlucky enough to live in an area where snow, we know what minerals on the road are.
You know, some people like winter, Ivan. Some people
I know.
skiing in the mountains, and they look forward to that first snow. So
I actually like driving in the snow. But that's me. That being said, those minerals accumulate on the wheel, and a lot of people will put a coating on their wheels, and coatings on wheels are great. If you have a new set of wheels, before putting on the car, please put a ceramic coating on them. But people think, my coating has failed. Your coating hasn't failed, it's just covered in minerals. Because as you're driving down the road, you've got that water and everything swirling around in here, and as it's swirling around and you're applying the brakes, the wheel gets a little warmer than the rest of the body of the vehicle. As it's getting a little warmer, the water that's on it evaporates, leaving the minerals behind. One other thing, there are some companies that will sell you a wheel-specific coating. And to me, that's always been a really weird thing, because scientifically, there is no need for it whatsoever. They will cite in their literature that it's for the extreme heat endured by wheels. This starts melting at 365 degrees Fahrenheit. Any coating worth its name can at least withstand 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. So if your coating is being damaged by the temperature of the wheel, you have other problems going on. Those problems are you haven't had a tire for a little while on that wheel.
Water spot remover, not something you're going to use probably on a regular detail either.
No.
Unless this is something you're going to ceramic coat, right? Or you're maintaining your own. If I'm doing a detail on a customer's car, I'm probably not using water spot remover on wheels.
No.
Unless you are. Can you just talk about when to use this, when not to?
Well, if you know there's a coating on the wheel and you sprayed it off like we've done here, and there's no beading whatsoever, it's not because the coating has failed, it's because the coating is contaminated. We'll let that sit for a moment or two, let it dwell. If we want to, we can take a microfiber towel, dampen it in our wash bucket, and when I say dampened, I mean dampened, not wet. And then agitate the water spot remover. So again, starting in the same direction, the same areas, I'm just going to agitate that water spot remover into the surface.
Why not use the green wheel and body brush to agitate it in?
You could, but the acidic nature of the water spot remover can actually damage the brush. Microfiber is actually more acid resistant, and at this point, I know the wheel is clean. So I'm not worried about taking a microfiber towel to the wheel and potentially scratching it by picking up a piece of grit. As you can see, there's no grit on here, there's no dirt. We don't put the microfiber back in our bucket because that slight acidic nature can damage our wash media.
If it's something where you were doing a ceramic coating on a customer's vehicle and you were going to end up wiping these down with panel prep and ceramic coating at the end, you may forget this step. Actually, I ceramic coated wheels the other day and didn't use water spot remover first, and I'm like, I know better than that.
Yeah.
So a reminder to all, water spot remover, just like on paint when we use it as a polishing and ceramic coating prep, great product to prep the wheels for any kind of protection.
And you don't need to use it every time. Like I said, every 6 months or so. Now, let's rinse this off. So now a little bit of beading has been restored because we've removed the minerals from the surface.
Actually, I would say that looks vastly different. It was like the water was pooling on the surface.
Right.
And now it seems like there's some beading going on.
Right.
Now we're ready to have fun, Ivan.
Now we want even more beading and protection. And quick beads is a very simple, effective way of protecting your wheels. And get some inside the barrels too.
This is a spray-on, rinse-off ceramic sealant. Any issue with the barrels or the rotors or anything getting quick beads on it that could be a concern?
No concern at all. If you're getting it on the rotors, as soon as you hit the brakes, the first millisecond, it's gone. We'll let that sit for 30 seconds and then rinse it off again. Now we've got great beading and protection on that wheel. Next thing we want to do is dry the wheel. Now, you can blow dry, but here in our shop, we have about 500 TDS water. If I were to blow dry this off, what's gonna happen is the minerals that I just took off, I'll be redepositing them on the surface because not only are you blowing some of the water away, you're evaporating some. But I'll use a couple sprays of Envy just because it makes drying a lot easier.
I can assure you, Ivan, it looks glossy from afar, and now that you're done spraying, I'll get closer and inspect. You're doing great work here.
So nice and dry. Again, no dirt on the towel because we did a good job cleaning the wheel. Finally, tire dressing. The cherry on the sundae.
Do you need to dry the tire first?
Ideally, you should dry it a little bit. You don't need to worry about it being bone dry. It's a water-based tire dressing. But yes, taking a little bit off the surface is going to help.
You can also use a leaf blower here if you have one sitting around. I like a tire dry, but again, it's gonna work either way. So we protected the face of the wheel. Now we're gonna kind of protect the tire, right, Ivan?
Right.
How many sprays?
I put 2 or 3.
I usually put 5 or 6.
Yeah, the first spray was not a full spray. So, and with the brush, I'm able to easily go around the edge without getting it on the wheel itself, getting in that little groove, and then spreading it on the tire. Now, a couple things you can do. Move the vehicle forward a couple inches to get that flat spot under there, or when you're parking it, this is something in your own driveway, you're doing this on a regular basis, put a little bit of 2x6 or 2x8 under your tire, roll it up so that your tire is sticking out from it, raises the car up a little bit, but at the same time, you end up not having that flat spot and you can get around the whole tire. Now the tire dressing, we have an adjustable shine. If you want a matte, dark look, you can dry the tire dressing like this.
And you want to kind of knock it down almost immediately, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that is the look you're gonna get. But if you want more shine, if you want more depth, if you want that glazed donut look, that actually both Nick and I like.
I'm actually convinced more people like it, but they're afraid to admit it.
Yeah. You put on a second coat, let it dry, and the tire will have a beautiful sheen to it.
What about dwell time? Should we let it kind of dry on the surface for 10 minutes before applying that second coat?
10 or 15 minutes to dry is always good. And in 10 or 15 minutes, this will be dry to the touch. It's not gonna be greasy.
And this will actually, it'll kind of knock down. What looks almost shiny now, in 15 minutes, when everything dries, it's a really nice finish. What people love about our tire lotion is it doesn't come across as greasy, or shiny. So if it does now, give it a little time. And if you want that look, then just add the other layer.
Right, exactly. Now there are some tires, if they're really, really brown, you might want to do one additional round of cleaning, or just do an additional round of this. If it comes back brown after 15 minutes, another round of the tire dressing. By not removing that antioxidant, you're actually keeping your tire in better shape.
So that's not a hack move if you get brown after cleaning and tire lotion to just put another round of tire lotion. That's not covering it up. You're not like putting lipstick on a pig.
No, exactly. You don't want to remove that browning. A little bit of it, sure. There are some people that will actually use harsh solvents to try to get that browning off, because I don't want it there before I put my tire dressing on. Your tire dressing is what's designed to take care of that. If you remove all that browning, you're actually damaging the tire, and your tire dressing won't last as long, because that antioxidant or anti-ozonant in the tire tries to work itself to the surface. If there's none on the surface, it's gonna push off any tire dressing you've put on the tire and push it off the tire. So you don't want to overly clean it.
One of your gifts is understanding what customers see and what they don't.
Right.
One of your gifts is realizing what is good time versus wasted time.
Yes.
You can waste as much time as you want. You can spend as much time detailing your car as you like. But Ivan will always say it's more fun to drive the car than it is to clean it.
We've taken a long time to clean this wheel and tire because we've been explaining it to you. But in reality, this whole thing takes but a minute or two. It's not a long process to do this and to do it properly.